Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science or Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, I'm going to talk about beginner camera kit for 2020, aka camera body and lens. Now, what is my goal here? Now, my goal is I'm talking about equipment that is around 2 lakhs, around 2000 some dollars. And the whole point is it must have body and kit. And if you're lucky, some money left for extra SD cards and battery, because most people don't have context of how expensive camera SD cards are, specifically UHS 2 ones. They're very expensive. So you have to have some money for it. And the whole point is I'm talking about something that has high availability and serviceability. Because while there are some people who are like, for 2 lakh is like, bro, chump change. I ain't got time for this, but for most people it's like, dude, that's a serious amount of money. So it must be available, as in like even in India, even in USA, most places it should have high availability and serviceability. So basically if something goes wrong, there should be at least 10% probability that you should have able to do something with it. So fundamentally that's why I'm not including Fuji or Panasonic. Like, they have really poor availability in India. Now again, in your location they might be like, heck, you may be living next to a service center, but again, in most places they are not. So I'm only covering on Sony, Nikon and Canon. Now, another aspect that is the most important aspect of interchangeable lens camera, it should have good and varied lens selection. What does that mean? That simply means lens is like a shoe. It must fit you perfectly. It's like, it's not about the quality or the material. If it fits you, it's awesome. If it does not fit you, it's useless. It does not matter. It's like, oh, it's a Kevlar shoe, but it does not fit you, you're not going to use it. So that's why we buy interchangeable lens camera, so we can fine tune the lens selection. So you must have a lot of quality lenses, not completely garbage lens, quality lenses, and at, like, varied options, like some prime lenses, some macro lenses, some zoom lenses, some, like, tilt shift lenses. I mean, there's a lot of selection. So fundamentally that is necessary requirement for an interchangeable lens camera. So that also eliminates other camera companies. And if you are buying this, you should not need to upgrade very quickly. Like, that's my aim here. That's why I'm not recommending very cheap cameras, because the moment you buy them, like, I have seen way too many people. Now you might be like, no, I can use a very low grade camera for, like, years and I'll be happy with it. That's up to you. But my experience have taught, like, fundamentally it's like, you buy something very cheap, it's generally gonna end up in your closet, nothing more than that. So I'm talking about cameras that you will not need to upgrade. That means no APS-C camera, only full frame. Reason for that, again, good and varied lens selection. Full frames have the largest lens selection on any company anywhere on the time. Basically you can attach every other camera company and full frame will still have more lenses than that. So, and we are going for jack of all trade. We are not going for master. We're talking jack of all trade. Basically it should get you going. Like, you should have this camera, like, I can do everything a camera can, not to best ability, but like, good enough where it's like, I got this. Like, I can learn photography, I can learn videography, I can learn cinematography, I can learn composition, I can learn lighting. Like, that's the whole point. Jack of all trade. We're not talking about, like, precise, perfect. And you can do whatever you want. It's your money at the other end. So mine is just a suggestion. If you like it, awesome. You don't like it, awesome. I'm not gonna put a gun to your head. Just enjoy. So let's start with Nikon. Now Nikon released the Nikon Z7, and the cost, I'm directly looking from Nikon's own website. It's around 1.14 lakhs, which is not very cheap, but okay enough. Now the lens, I'm only going to be talking about this one specific super zoom lens, which is around 24 to 200. Now the reason for this lens is wide enough, as in its capability. It's not the best lens, flat out, it's not a best lens. It's just capable lens in wide varieties of situation. What does that mean? That simply means if you want to do tight headshot, it can do that. If you want to take landscape photography, it can do that. That's the whole point of it. So once you have, let's say, used it for 1 year or 2 years, you can go down in your Lightroom and be like, okay, filter by and then you'll see what is the largest collection you have. So if you're like, hey dude, most of my photography is, let's say, above 200. Oh, in this case you can't go above 200. Let's say it's like above 100. So buy something like, let's say, 100 to 400 because you know that that's the field you use the most. Or it could go the other way also. You may be like, hey dude, I use most of my photographs are like in wide mode. Buy a wide angle prime lens or wide angle zoom lens, depending to you. So that's the whole point of this exact lens. And another aspect is, the moment you upgrade to, let's say, bigger lens, more capable lens, let's say 70 to 200 f2.8, those are awesome lens, but those are really not good suited for travel photography. We're just like, chillax, relax, enjoy. Not suited for that. So this lens will not become obsolete. Yes, it's not the best lens, but it's a good enough lens where it will capture enough situation where, like, I'm glad at least I had a camera. So that's why I'm only focusing on this lens, and both of them combined comes below the budget that I'm talking about. Now what are you getting extra with this puppy? You're getting a dual card slot, which is very awesome simply because this allows you to go into event photography, basically anything where you can't do retakes, like a wedding, event, sports, things of that nature where you can't do retakes. So dual card slot gives you absolute peace of mind. Now you might be like, oh, I never had a memory card fail. All memory card ever manufactured by human will fail. Hopefully it will fail when it's not in your camera. But again, things happen. That's why like even the best hard drive ever made by man goes into a server, still has another backup hard drive of the same quality. Sole reason for that, redundancy. There is no way of bypassing that. It has that, and surprisingly low price. While having this, it's awesome. So you can buy this and you can literally jump into like, you know, event photography and things of that nature without worrying about like, hey, it would have been better if I had dual card slot. So that's a very good system. It also has IBUS for something this cheap. It's really good, and it has Nikon color. Like if you do double blind test with, let's say, Nikon, Canon and Sony, most of the time people will choose Nikon, and Nikon really have some special sauce to say. So you may like it, you may tangibly like Nikon just for that. It's like, dude, I can live with hundreds of flaws if it has Nikon color. This has Nikon color, enjoy. And how about like overall, like what will be your experience when you're using this camera? It's a good photographic camera. Like it will not bottleneck you, but it also not let you, like, you know, flex your muscles, so to say. So fundamentally it's a good camera, not the best, good camera. How about video? Let's say, and due to lockdowns and all that jazz, video has become much more important than people realize. So it's a okay video camera. Don't expect too much of it, but it will get the job done, because it can do 4K, but it will do 4K at a crop and a 30-minute limit. That does frustrate me, because like I can understand why Canon is doing it, because Canon has a cinema lineup. This does not have a cinema lineup. Nikon does not have a cinema lineup. So why the heck they have limited of 30 minutes? And the European law that has been removed for like what, 2 years or 3 years ago. So this is a very good Nikon system. If you are happy with Nikon system or you have Nikon lenses, this is a very good starter system. You can just start and go. And the reason why I'm only talking about mirrorless is simply because you can plonk a DSLR lens into a mirrorless system. You can't do the other way around. So this is a Nikon system that I have recommended. Now what about Canon? Now Canon shook the world. It's like, whoa. Canon RP. Now RP price is around 86,000 rupees. It's very cheap. So fundamentally, if you have told anyone 1 or 2 years ago, basically before this camera's release, it's like there will be a full frame first hand camera that will be like, let's say less than a lakh. People were like, what? People will be laughing. Like fundamentally, it was like, it's so cheap. Now again, thankfully, Canon has also released the 24 to 240. This is like a Sony's copy lens from F4 to 6.3. So this is not the latest and greatest lens, but it is a good, competent lens, and price is around 77,000, basically 78,000, and that will give you 10x range. What does that mean? That simply means this will be the cheapest camera you can buy. So, but that means you have money for SD card, extra battery, USB battery charger. All of those things are very important. You may not even think about it, like how much those puppy cost, but they will cost a lot. And heck, all three would also require flash. So this puppy will give you most amount of comfort in your wallet, so to say. So you can utilize how you spend the remaining money. So it's a very good system. It has a very cheap system. It is a flip out screen, which is necessary for if you want to do a lot of photography in awkward angles. This is awesome for that, and video also. And it also has a reliable video autofocus, which is another add-on. So how does it compare as a video camera, basically photographic camera? It's a good. Again, all of these cameras are good. None of them are like best, but they're good. Like you won't be suffering because of it. Let's just put it that way. You won't be suffering because of that. Now how about video? Again, it's okay, because it has 4K crop. That's fundamentally, the moment you go 4K, you're like, wait a minute, why the heck I am lugging around a full frame camera and 30-minute limit? That really does frustrate me. It's like, why the heck it's a 30-minute limit? But things what it is. I'm not gonna complain in this specific camera because of the low price. It's really low. However, I would say try not to use it for event or wedding, things of that nature. So Canon, really good startup. Like if you want to learn, go into photography, this is a really good setup and system. Now how about Sony? Well, Sony A7C. Be mindful, while I'm making this video, the camera is not technically launched in India. You can buy it from some places, but it's not launched. So you go to Sony website, the price is not shown. It's flat out says available soon. So fundamentally, the price is expected to be 1.3 lakh, which is a bit more expensive and runs over my 2 lakh rupees budget, so to say. But it does have a lot of enough juicy things where you're like, you may want to expend more. Again, it will exponentially end up costing you more simply because you have to buy battery cards and all that. But there is a good reason for this. It Sony became the first company to actually had that 10x full frame lens, so 24 to 240. It's f3.5, which is really good. That means on a wide angle you're gonna have a very lot of light, like lot of light. And our MRP is around 80,000, more or less exactly the same, and it has 10 fps. Now that is very important, specifically if you want to do mild sports photography or mild wildlife photography. You will love this aspect. Be mindful, if a company says 4.5 frame per second, or says, let's just go with both of them, around 5 frame per second, they will never reach 5 frame per second. They will be like 4.8. So let's just go with 5. They say that they're gonna deliver 5. This says 10, it's gonna easily deliver 8. What does that mean? That simply means you have more probability of getting just the right shot, and that is a tangible jump. Going from 5 to 10, that is a tangible jump. You'll be like, whoa, really good option. So that alone, for many people, that alone is like, dude, I'll pay more just for that. Another aspect, I'm really happy that Sony is not deciding to litter the whole planet with e-waste. Their battery system is awesome. They have one battery. That's it. Like Sony full frame camera have one battery, Z1000 series battery. So that battery is big, it's huge. They learned from their 8 years of experience, and they removed all the, I hate Canon just for this. Like I have Canon camera, I have Canon showroom in my town. I went there, it's like, hey, my battery died. Yeah, we don't have this exact battery, we have some other variant. And you might be thinking, okay, that may be different voltage, different milliamp hour rating. No, it's just like same 2 cell battery, 7.2 volt, exact same milliamp hour rating. They have like 4 variants of that. 4 variants. So like your battery does not carry over, and you have to buy multiple battery if you're serious about photography. So that just becomes an e-waste. Here you don't have to do that. So for example, let's say you bought this Canon I'm saying Sony 7C, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna start, I'm gonna learn, and you learned it, and you're like, dude, I'm all about video. You can buy Sony A7S III, which is perfectly made for video system. Same battery will be used. So fundamentally, even if you did not buy any extra battery, you will have 2 batteries for that camera, and vice versa. Or you can go into R series, like, dude, photography, that's my jam. I want to go highest megapixel. I want to have the most crisp resolution possible. R series, same battery. That is an amazing advantage. That simply means you can have a whole crew on a wedding or an event covering, like some can take care of photography using R series, some can take care of video using S series. You can have all of them, and all of them will use same battery. That means you can buy a pile of battery rather than, like, you know, 1 battery or 10. It's amazing. That's like, that alone, these 2 things alone, for many people is like, yeah, bit higher asking price. They're like, you know what, good enough. Just for that high battery capacity and 10 frame per second. Another aspect, the sole reason why people, even with higher prices of Sony, willingly buy that, and not to mention, this is at this point in time 2nd ranking camera system on the planet, as in how many new units are sold. Sony is at the 2nd point, Nikon is at 3rd. So is because best lens selection. That means native lenses. I'm not talking about adapters, I'm not talking about DSLR lenses adapted as a system, just raw mirrorless flat out. It's like, buy this and enjoy. Sony has the, like, again, 8-year experience. So fundamentally, you have lots of lens, and you have a lot of third-party lenses. The reason why third-party lenses are not available, as for me making this video, is simply because Nikon and Canon make their money from lenses. So they have not opened it. It's like, this is how my lens communicate with the camera body. So they have to crack it. Now they have done that with DSLR, like Sigma did that with DSLR, Tamron did that with DSLRs. They have done that, but it takes time. So fundamentally, I'm pretty sure there are like at least 10-20 engineers working right now as I'm talking about this, like, you know, figuring out how to crack the code so they can communicate properly, but it will take time. And do not expect the first few generations to be any good. And you can see that. You can see people have bought awesome Sigma DSLR lenses, like, dude, why the heck it's not autofocusing? Because again, it's not, they have to crack it. Now, because Sony wanted to capture the market, they came in there. It's like, this is our E-mount, and this is the how it communicates. That's why Sigma and Tamron, they make first party lens. It's not cracked, it's not hijacked, but they cannot add basically image stabilization on the lens, simply because that communication is like, Sony's like, bro, that should be our, like, you know, trademark kind of system. So Sony right now, you can buy 3 tiers of lenses. If you want to be like very low budget, Tamron is got your back. If you want to be good, Sigma got your back. If you want to be like absolute awesome, Sony got your back. The reason why I'm saying Sony is absolute maximum is because of the vibration reduction that is in the lens itself. Optical steady shot, as they call it. So that does give you advantage, specifically for tele systems. So you can buy, like, for wide primes and all that jazz, you can go Sigma, you can go Tamron, and you're gonna be good with it, because nowadays all the new lenses that have been coming into market, even low prices one, they are very close to the high end one. So gone are the days where, like, you know, $1,000 lens was like 50% less than 2001. Right now it's like, you know, you can get 80 to 85% of a pro level lens on a surprisingly low price, so you won't suffer because of it. And that's the sole reason why Sony is selling so much, because even though camera bodies are expensive, you're like, dude, I'm gonna save a lot of money, like so much money that you can buy a other camera system just for that, because again, a lot of lens selection. It's a good photographic camera, like you're gonna be like, good photographic camera, and it's a good video camera. It's not okay, it's good. What does that mean? That simply means no crop. This puppy can do true 4K at 30 frames per second, not 60, but it can do true 4K, so you won't have a crop, and no recording limit. Awesomeness. So fundamentally it does exceed my budget, but fundamentally if you like, to apply a little bit of elbow grease, you may able to bring the price down. But this is a very good starter system for Sony system. And then once you have learned it, once you have mastered it, once you have 1 or 2 years of experience with the lens, you will like, dude, I need to buy a wide angle lens. Choose. You will have a lot of options, from Sony, from Sigma to Tamron. You'll have a lot of options. Enjoy. So again, all these 3 cameras have certain advantages, certain disadvantages, and you should be able to buy at least one of them and be very happy. You won't be like, I wish I bought that. No, that will not happen with any of these 3 systems. So this was my presentation with basically which is the camera kit that I recommend for 2020. I hope you liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.